Hey there, welcome to this video tutorial. I hope everyone is doing well. Today in this video tutorial we will see how we can use the local storage for React Native. So as you can see, this is a very simple application with the two screens. In home page we are just fetching some movies data from web service and displaying right here. And the second screen we have a wishlist where we can add our favorite movie to our wishlist. So once you add this movie to wishlist, then it is displaying right here. But whenever we are terminating our application, or we just close our application, then really this movies data or whatever we have added in the wishlist, it will stay as it is. So let's check it out. I'm going to kill the application from here. Again, just to reopen. Okay. Now as you can see, it's still selected. Once you go to the wishlist tab, as you can see, these movies are exist. Okay. Now how it is happening? Definitely it has a store mechanism behind this. So like Android and iOS native application, React Native also has some kind of options for local storage. As an example, you can say Realm, Firebase, SQLite, PouchDB, and Async storage classes, and Redux Persist also. Today we will cover Redux Persist with Async storage. So later on, maybe if I get some time, then definitely I will cover other stuff also, just like SQLite, Firebase, Realm, and PouchDB, etc. So I'm going to create a new project and I will install the dependency as much as quickly as I can. As per the application layout, we are using tab bars, and definitely navigation also will be required to go to the next screen. And so I will install all the dependency in once, so it will save a lot of our time. Okay, and so project is created, and so let's switch to project directory. Okay, so let's install the dependencies, whatever it is required. So we need some other dependency which is called React Navigation. React Navigation. Okay. In order to install the React Navigation, it has their official documentation site. So we will follow the instructions. So once you click here, installation procedure, so you will get the whole set of steps. So we are using Expo. So these are the dependencies will be required in order to work with the React Navigation. So, okay. Open the project. Okay. So quickly we will just create the source directory and the other directories to organize our source code. So we need home directory next we need images, and we need images also. And you can keep any for your directory, but in my case I'm just keeping images. Then this is right. Then we need to create one more request, or usually keep the also stuff. So screen, we will create two screens. So as per our layout, we have two screens which is called home and wishlist. So let's create those here. If you can keep the same name also, just like file name, it doesn't matter. Okay, so for double, let's say home screen, wishlist screen, it doesn't matter. So now we need to hook up our two screen, both this screen with the application with app. So in order to work with the navigation, we will add all the navigation related code right here. Okay. So first of all, couple of things we need to import. Number one, style sheet view will be not required, text will be not required. Here we need the images because we will use the tab bar, so maybe icons, definitely it will be required. Second, okay, so we need to import screens right here. Screens from source screens and home screen. Home screen, same way, from screens and wishlist screen. This is wishlist screen. That's all. So now, now let's import the navigation stuff here. Navigation. Rect navigation, and here it will go create app container and switch navigator. We are missing the Rect navigation tab also, so we need to install the Rect navigation tab here. So now let's click the user and then here here will be icon. And we'll also and this one's actually center, but some navigation. So here that to the oh yes. Okay. So when you change the also when the navigation also get navigation. And this is good. So let's do this item. Okay, so let's copy this from here and we'll here and we'll click Persist. So here this item is using and check more. So let's try to run this. Okay, so as you can see, there are two screens. It is available here. Now we will work on the Redux part and the configuration of the local storage. So I'm going to pause for this section. So if you wish to know about the Redux part, how exactly the Redux is working, there is one more tutorial I have already uploaded on the YouTube, so you can check that out. Here we go, so we can oh, you know, yes. Now we will add some actions here, which will help us out to fetch some movies data. and while we will add the favorite movies to wishlist, and while we will remove the movies from the wishlist, it will work in the same way. So let's add these things quickly. Okay, so we have added our functions here. So here it's export, need to export. Okay, fetch movie function will fetch some of the movie data from this URL, right? And once you receive this movie, it will just get fired with this action along with the payload. Okay, this add to wishlist function will fire one action which is called add to wishlist along with the provided movie item. Secondly, the remove from the wishlist also the same. It will fire this action from remove from wishlist along with the movie data as a payload. So we need to handle this payload whenever we are just firing these actions here. So let's add some data to the reducers. Here, resource input access, and we need to run this here. So this will be right, and this is also right. Alright, so we have added our function here. So in this reducer function, once you receive this action, once you receive the response from the web service, we will assign this all the objects to an array which is called movies. And whenever we will fire add to wishlist action here, then we will add the specific movie or specific payload to the wishlist along with the existing wishlist. Okay, and whenever remove from wishlist will fire, then it will check whether that a specific movie is exist or not. If it is exist, simply it will remove by doing filter here, and it will give a fresh wishlist here. Good. So now it is ready. So let's go to this store where the magic stuff gonna happen. So here we will create our store. Let me just read find record and find record. That's right. Now import. And now and receiving the name as a user. So the more special as a user. So user. Now we create faster. So user. I think we're so good. So now we will go to our application. We will just hook up with the store. But here we have created this app, constant app object where the create app container and all the navigation stuff is here. So we need to somehow wrap it up with this app object inside the store. So what we will be doing here, and so we will just make as a default function. Okay. Where it will return simply one object where it will curl, but here we will need to import just import from Redux okay, right, so I see this. Okay, so last. So here we'll see how we run it. Okay, so let's run application once more. Good. So there's no error. So it's perfectly hooking up. Now I will show you how we can integrate the local storage part with the Redux Persist. So as a prerequisite, we need the Redux Persist and Async storage also. So let's quickly install those stuff also here. So the Async storage we will use the community edition because the earlier Async storage it is deprecated. Let's install Async storage here. Now we just need to add some additional code in the store because reducer there is nothing to do with the reducer and actions there is nothing to do with the actions. The main the integration portion is like in the store. So here we will add Redux Persist and Async storage. Import. Async storage from React Native community. Async storage. Import from here Redux Persist. Redux. Redux Persist. Here a couple of things we need to import from Redux Persist. So number one is Persist store. Persist store, and secondly will be and Persist reducer. Yes, these are just two stuff will be required here. And now we need a configuration. If you used to know about like Redux Persist, there's a very nicely documented stuff is there in their official site. Redux Persist. You can go to their documentation. You can see there's a lot of downloads or there are weekly downloads, and it's a very nice one. But you need to understand how we can integrate and what are the stuff it will be helpful. So that is the main point. So I will show you how exactly it is working here. First of all, we need the configuration. Okay, so we have imported the Redux Persist here. So we need to add some configuration to store our reducer. Quickly do this thing. Persist config. Persist config will take couple of parameters. So number one, we will use key, which is essential. Key we will keep as a root, and secondly, storage. Well, async storage. Storage we will use async storage, which is we have mentioned in here, imported from async storage. So now we need to wrap up this reducer with the Persist reducer, which will help us to save the data here. Persist reducer, and Persist reducer will take two parameters. Persist config and our reducer. Good. Now, okay, and the way we have configured our reducer here, so we will configure our persist store also here. So let's add persist, and add persist will be persist store here. Store, and here we will export the persist. Okay, in order to configure the Redux Persist, as you can see, only the configuration is required here. And first of all, once the configuration is ready along with the parameters, then you need to wrap it up your reducer with the persist reducer along with the configuration. And secondly, you need to just wrap it up your persist store, your store with the persist store here. Now our store part is done, so we need to add some more code on app.js file in order to complete the local stores integration. So let's import persist get from Redux Persist. Redux Persist integration right here. Persist get. Okay, so persist get is here. So now we need to import our app persist, which is we have created right here. Yes, app persist, we export it here, which is a kind of persist store. So import our app persist. Now we need to wrap up our app component with persist get. Loading we will keep as null for a while, because in terms of loading you can show a loading screen or something while you are loading the storage item. So initially we are just keeping as a null, and persister our app persist. Yes. No, just move this things to inside this one. Good. Now let's run our application. Okay, seems it is working perfectly. So our integration part is done. Our local storage is properly integrated here. Okay, and in order to save the data, we are just targeting to save our wishlist data only. So here in the store configuration, if we keep the root key as a root, and if we are not whitelisting anything, then it will save all the data, just like in a movie and wishlist all the data from this reducer. And so we are not interested to keep all the data or make our device is bulky. So let's whitelist the specific data whichever we are interested to save, which is called whitelist, and we wish to whitelist only the wishlist. Wishlist. And this whitelist key, I'm not sure the parameter how exactly they're keeping. But here we can find out the whitelist. That's perfectly fine. But we need to wrap it up as an array. Whitelist and wrap it up as an array. Good. So why it is array? Because you can keep multiple objects in a whitelist here. But suppose if you have a lot of stuff which is gonna be right here, like let's say movie or some other stuff also. Sorry. Let's say users also, you have users also here. Then you don't wanna keep save the user here, but the movie and wishlist you wish to save. Then you can simply turn into blacklist user. Then definitely users. Then only the users will skip. Then movie and wishlist will save here. Okay. So let's turn into whitelist the wishlist only. Good. Now Redux part is done. So let's connect our component here with home screen and home and wishlist. So
action. Before swing the home screen. Then here is the trigger. Same before. For registration. So home screen is fine. Yes. No. Now it's going to see from the now server. So now I support to the movie here. So we need to use the recorder. Use the recorder. Let's use the publisher. So take it across. We have customers. This is some process on across. So here we go. Customers. And in home screen see the first video. So in home screen see if you're moving the and use the recorder. But then you use the most time. Muy bien. Persist. Yeah, so just do that one later. Check it. This is really okay, this is really okay. Yep. It's okay, so yes. Yes. Okay, so in also so let's see with the producer. So alright, so also now we need to check. Let's go to now we check our realization even. Yes, yes, our realization. So let's use for visit. So this example. So our function the reference. So let's use for our realization. So see. Copy. Let's check our function. So this is string. This is string here. This is string. Good. Now we see.
So why this is coming network issue? Because we are getting call on this pets movie here, so maybe something is going wrong. That's why we are getting this one. So all right, let's dive on this function. Why it is coming right here? Response rate is perfectly fine. We are just logging up response also here. Base URL. Okay. All right. Here the slash is missing. That's why. Good. No. Yes. Now as you can see, it is perfectly displaying right here the response. In the design part, the screen is splitting into two sections. In the first section, we will display this image along with the button and some of the contents of the movie. And second portion, we will display a slider where the movie cards will be displayed along with the actions where add to wishlist or remove from wishlist button will be there. Okay, so let's complete this screen first, and after that we will go to the wishlist. Okay, and so I will not make you bored. I will try to make it faster, so at least you can see the final product how it's look like.
Okay, so here it says we do add one more shutter also. As you see here. Now let's add the video also. Okay. Also here. Now just that's one. So the same way you use it also. I just use the same way, but it's not very precise. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Wait, how? That's all. So now our destination part is so we do our numbers. So let's add something here. Okay. Now let's start. We need to work on a bit of work on this view down here. Yeah. First of all, we need to highlight this. Let's see. Always. Let's see always. Okay. So. Okay. So what's this? What's this? What's this? Okay. One way to push this here. And over here. Okay, so we go here almost. Now we need to push this. What is it? What is it? So this one here first. Then we go on this. Okay, so why is that? Because we have the link of this frequency. So because it has the so that you will be able to see the also next thing we do next target. So start below being ready. C'est juste que je rejoins il y a des auteurs sur les choses c'est bien c'est un peu mieux donc là je choisis le texte comme ça c'est bien tout à fait so it's nice what's like this is just happy we're doing this this one Ini sama sahabat. Terus use status edit.
So now our design is almost ready. So, but apart from the functionality wise, once you click on the add to wishlist, it should have to be add in wishlist right here also. Okay. So and a couple of more stuff is here. Like once you select this movie, then it should have to be displayed right there. So at least you can watch the movie.
Here was a kind of
Once we click on the movie card, then all the above information has to be changed accordingly. So let's hook up this one. So here we need to press on press detect current movie or pass item. Let's try to add. Yeah, it's changing now. Good. So next couple of methods we need to add here. Again, now we need to click on the add to wish list. Once we click on add to wish list, then it has to be changed the button color if it is exist already. So for that thing, we need to add some kind of logic. So let's add this one. Is exist. Let's check. We have the wishlist array here, so we need to check whether it exists in wishlist or not.
So here we'll check right for this ID. Right for this here. We'll check where is X. Then we'll say search.
Okay, so now we need to check whether this movie exists or not. So if it is exist, then the background color will be changed and the text also will be changed. So if you want, then you can add this whole component to a function and you can change it rather than repetition of the code. But in my case, I'm just doing this one this way. Here we will check whether if it is exist, then it will simply display. The color will be some different color. Color will be, let's say it's a green color. We will check. Green color code will be something like 208103, and it will be removed from. This list. On press will be also.
And second feature also ready for removal.
If it is exist, then we can remove these things from remove the data from the wishlist, and if it is not exist, then we on tab add to wishlist. That's good. Now if we click here, we can directly access this property from here also, but in my case I'm just using from here. Add to wishlist movie, because if you have something to check here right before sending this data to the action, then you can perform this operation here. So here also same, remove from wishlist to movie. Good. So let's try to add this movie to wishlist. Yeah, it is added. Remove. Yeah, it is perfectly working. Now movie is added, our movie is also gonna change here. So once we edit these movies, then at least we can able to see in the wish list. So let's do a little bit work on the wish list also. Go to wish list screen. I'm going to do these things quickly.
First of all, we need to press. Same thing can be here. Now we'll got some this kind of recorder, so let's open it. Yeah. And some more stuff we'll got here. Right, this guy here. Yes. Function stays. This one. So it's there, so that means the malware is so let's delete it.
Alright, so now you can see this is perfectly in its field. So here we go. See, this data are available here, and if you remove from the list list, then it will go away from here also. So now as you can see, this is added perfectly in wishlist. So I'm gonna terminate the application from here. Next, again going to load the application. Okay. So have you seen this is already there in wishlist? Once you remove these things from here, and next time if you load the application, then it will be not there. So that means our local storage is working perfectly fine. Okay, I hope you got the idea how we can use local storage in your React Native. So I believe you like this video. So don't forget to subscribe my channel. You can get the source code right below in the description. Thank you so much.